Okay, hey y'all. I was looking. I'm in my car. I just came from seeing my sister doing my little daily activities I was gonna do. I was outside. Just came home, but again, I'm trying this live thing one more time on my phone. If y'all seen the live last night, everything was going good except the problem is here I have but I couldn't see what anybody was saying until after the replay. And so the reason I was going to do another quick video on my phone while I had the chance, and I know I still got to put the information down, that I was going to put down with the link when I was talking about the freelance wire wanted me to, um, like post a quote because they seen my first video about the hydradenitis, HS, and I didn't put the information down yet. I remember y'all, I just didn't get to it yet. And when I looked this morning, earlier about when I seen one of my YouTube friends saying, also, hey, what's up, my YouTube cousin Julo here, Jay's Explosion. Check out her channel as well. Um, it was 3 people in total. Everybody YouTube cousins on here, YouTube family on here, okay? But she asked me what was HS Awareness Week or something around that when I was able, like I said, replay back the chat, and that was I was able to see the chat. So I'm just gonna do a quick, video. You know how my quicks are about what is hydronitis supervita. I know I'm saying pronouncing it wrong, HS for short, but actually the definition of what I think it is. Now, I'm just going to say it like this. What I gather between going to multiple dermatologists and physicians and, Googling certain information and what I learned, it is a rare chronic illness that affects the skin. Sometimes it's considered disease. Sometimes it may be considered autoimmune, which I do feel it is as well because it causes me and some other people like chronic fatigue. It is chronic. It is painful. It can affect you, of course, emotionally with the effects that come with it, of course, because like I said, you're dealing with sometimes, with the flare-ups are usually like sometimes abscess, even sometimes one abscess, even small, can be painful. But sometimes you can get clutter. You can get them everywhere from, like I said, you can get them. Sometimes some people I found didn't know until I found people Instagram can get them inside here. I had them one time right here. I had them, severe acne. It can cause other conditions in your body. Like I said, the dandruff condition as well that I have to deal with sometimes. You can get them on your arm and other places at the same time. One time under my stomach, under my breast, on my breast, or the same for say for male can happen up in the upper chest area. You can have it in your stomach. You can have it in your groin area. You can have it with quote the bikini line, inner thigh, not to be graphic thing, but also the buttocks area, inside, on side. You take you get what I'm saying. So it often can be where I also said, which when I had a boil lance 2010, that was the one that was on my buttocks where it gotten so bad that I could not walk and I was in excruciating pain to go to the hospital. And I was told abscesses work. And I actually get abscesses, not boils, because abscesses, they say, um, don't have like what you call seeds, like say, not to be graphic about, when you say you have a pimple, you have a, white seed or a black seed, they don't have seeds, period. So that means it can come back to the area multiple times sometimes because there's no seed in there. And, or what they would call the core, I think. Yeah, but I usually get abscesses. I still do. Or my skin sometimes, and it didn't start doing this until 10 years ago. I used to get abscesses and then they'll heal, or some rare occasions I used to get them, I'll let them naturally heal, or and or may have to go to the hospital, which that was like in 2004 when I went twice back to back a month apart for one that was on my left arm, whatever. And at that time, because I'd misdiagnosed, I thought it was because I was working at that hectic Sam's Club at the time. I was there for like almost 10 months. I was working for there. But I started getting around actually the end of 2008 was actually when I started getting lesions. My skin would just turn and open itself and turn to open sore. It even turned to abscess. Some of the abscess eventually turn into lesions and it's still healing, or it may heal in a couple of days when it comes to a head. Sometimes now in the past 10 years or so, it takes longer. I'm fortunate enough if it can heal in a month. But some of them are so bad where it takes several months. I'm be honest with you, like the year before last, I had one that didn't heal for about At least a year and a half, okay? In my inner thigh. And some other ones, even though they're small, I still have ones that they're very hard to heal, probably because of the location. And so that's what it is. And you deal with like I said, the physical pain that you get from the lesions, and maybe even, like the thing was when mine was so bad when I had to have my hair gland moves, because sometimes they say it's the effects of, some definitions say it's the hair glands, or sometimes they say the sweat glands or this glands. Like I said, you have possible triggers. Like I said, could be anywhere from obesity. They don't say contagious, but I did see one article that was saying it might be hereditary, which nobody that I know personally, my family, that has this. I'm the only one who has this. They thought, of course, like I said, if y'all seen the last videos or seen previous videos, that they thought that was diabetic. I'm not diabetic, but I need to be careful, whatever, because it does run a little bit on both sides of the family. But other than that, like I said, in my condition, like I said, I sweat several times a day. I have overactive sweat glands, so my hands and my feet sweat several times a day, and it does it regardless of the temperature. So my hands might be severely hot or cold, and it's, as the doctor said as well, that's the effect of the HS for me. I deal with a lot of times chronic fatigue. Sometimes I have more flare-ups depending on when it's changing from season to season or in between seasons. And due to the fact I live in Michigan, and now we got climate change and other issues that kind of make it flip flop even more. And so, even though for a while when you have certain surgeries, sometimes it's supposed to guarantee in most cases there's a comeback. And some people are fortunate, and for a while I haven't had any comeback on my left arm. And of course, it can't grow any more skin and stuff. God rest his soul. The doctor, if y'all watched the video yesterday, who did the skin graft and the last surgeries that had to do with the arms, he said, of course, no skin can come back here, and with the skin graft. And it was another doctor, I think, when I did the follow-ups that said, it's not supposed to come, told me, it's not supposed to come back. And it was also another doctor said, are you sure you're okay? Because, this is a devastating disease. He right about that, okay? It's a lot to deal with. You could be temporarily or permanently disabled because if you deal with oncoins, like I said, I get them, not to say everyday basis, but it's a guaranteed, you know, three some at the maximum. I think the longest I've been in the past several years where I've been without any of them period or any new flare ups. Um, it seemed like it's only a couple months, so it's a guarantee that I'm going to get them. And like I said, I try my best. Like I said, I use diaphragm because it has to zinc sometimes, or what the doctor gives us. Sometimes they give you certain antibiotics, such as depending on penicillin or something, as far as it, because it is considered an infection. And sometimes it can be being tongue tied, misdiagnosed as an infection. Or in some cases, let's keep it real. I had one time when I had a flare up, and it was a month before I found out I had bronchitis, and later on I found out I had asthma as well. But right before that, I had like hives, and they thought I had an STD. They flat. I was like, so, when I went to the ER because it was so bad, I had like basically hives and were on my feet and all over here, hands, shoulders, toes, whatever, and they just said, oh, it might be a skin problem, but that's like one of the things that happens sometimes. Like I said, with my asthma and bronchitis, really more so my bronchitis, I think it's worse than my asthma. It's chronic bronchitis. When I had flare ups, sometimes my hidradenitis, my HS, would like to chip on in. It's like, oh, we got some more problems, or if I have a cold, it seems like it's making worse. But sometimes, due to the fact that how I know it has something to do with the immune system or it's anti-inflammatory, I noticed in the past couple times, like 2017 and 2016 as well, just being around meeting family members who had colds, I end up having to go to ER because I can't breathe and the other side effects of that. So I have to be careful because it makes my skin. It didn't used to be that way, but once the HS got so bad, like I said, where it basically kind of like became stronger, and then instead, besides making abscesses, it would make lesions. And like I said, depending on some cases, if you had them for your underarm, says they can be uncomfortable because you can't save your woman, for example. And I mean, there's some men too that shave under their arms. it got to a point that I could no longer shave my arms. Once you got abscess and lesions, you're in pain and so forth, whatever, and then you have to deal with the poison. Okay, poison. Sometimes it is, not to be graphic, but it is blood, and then it's the poison color. But not only that, you 9 times out of 10 have to deal with the scent of the poison, which I don't know how I survived. I used to be like this in school because I had classes on campus. I was going to school at first where I graduated for before I got my bachelor's at that time. And I was just like, I could smell the poison, or you smell the poison when it's draining out sometimes, and it's not pleasant, okay? And then your skin is tender. You want it to come to head, but at the same time it's tender. Sometimes if it's a lesion, or if it's a lesion due to the fact to an abscess or boil coming to a head, it is sometimes 9 times out of 10 painful. And or some of them disappear and go away, which is very rare, and they go back in the body, but most of the time they have to come to a head. And sometimes doctors, if say you go to one, if they find out you have it, like I said, I've been several times and misdiagnosed. Oh, it's something you eat. Oh, it's an infection. Blah 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 blah. Like I said, I kind of more so started going to doctors in 2000 when I really had it since 1996, and it bothered me every 6 months in my case. But I was missed on and off by diagnosed by a regular doctor. Oh, it's just an infection. We back when I had another flare again. Oh, it's just an infection. Oh, it's just an infection. And even though I had gotten lanced, no, I didn't also just get it lanced 2000. I got it lanced in 2004 twice, and I keep forgetting I had to have it lanced again. I think in like the summer of 2005. I keep forgetting I had that too. Okay, so I had three surgery, no, only two surgeries after I had the diagnosis. I'm not including when I had my gallbladder removed in 2014 as well. But in my case, let me just give you a definition. If you had to get a skin graft, that's basically taking a part of tissue of another area of your body where it replaces, another part, where, it might have lost tissue or something, or tissue has to be removed. So since the hydronitis had taken so much more and was so more embedded inside my right underarm, I had to get a part of the side of my back, which is like basically the back flex. So it's like I may post the first video I have because I kind of showed the scars and everything of right here and placing tissue, which thank God my body did not reject it. Even though, like I said, I have this lesion that's still slowly healing. It was worse than that. And then, that's why my primary physician said I need to have surgery. And I thought I was going to have to also, because not only did it come back in the area, they guaranteed, they guaranteed was going to work, going guarantee was not going to come back, but it's slowly, not healing. And which was around the time anyway, where I was doing an internship at an after school program. And, sorry, I'm about to get off in a second because they say this battery's kind of high. After school program, and I was kind of volunteering, so I had to stop anyway. I had to do my classes. I already had completed all my hours, so I was good to go. And, and so forth. So, yeah, so that's really what I can say about the definition of rights. If you've been, if you're HS a warrior, you can, if you want to fill the comments below, y'all can go right ahead. But I just wanted to give a definition about what it means to me. Sometimes certain diets do work. Like I said, I need to get back on my green tea, my chlorophyll, sometimes taking certain vitamins. And also, it seemed like it did something where it took away my vitamin D levels. My vitamin D levels, in like the summer 2017 were cut in half, meaning that I had for 3 months I had to take a high dosage of vitamin D's because my body was completely, half of it was gone. And I had some side effects from that too, and I did some research, and supposedly HS may can do something to your vitamin D levels in your body. So it's a lot of things that I'm still learning as I go. Sometimes it is good, like, just in general to like eat healthy, of course. And, drink plenty of water and so forth as well, which I've been doing more of that as anyway. But like I said, actually, even though I kind of know more about it, I'm still learning about the illness. And the doctor before I had last just said it was just an infection and whatever. And it said just not admitting that you don't know that I have HS. Okay, because you're still going to run, even though it's more notable now, there's still a lot of people who still don't know about it. In my case, I have like kind of like sometimes severe, moderate, and it lows back down. It's been a long time since it's just been mild. Occasionally I still get it mild where it doesn't really bother me, but and I'm not in pain, but sometimes it does. Or sometimes I was going through periods several months before I really got them bad under my arms, like when it really took over. Yeah, it took over like 2009, and for a while I was in pain. I wasn't really in pain, but I would sleep 16 hours a day and still be weak as hell. Like I said, I have chronic fatigue as well, besides sometimes achiness and pain and stuff. And then it just really was a lot of pain I had to deal with. Then I was diagnosed in early 2011. So yeah, y'all, that's where I could say something. And then I had, like I said last night, I used to have a cyst on top of this hand and disappeared. And I found out by going to dermatologist. Came in 2007, it was there. Then it went away. Then it came back again after I had the surgeries. Because when I had the surgery to remove the hair cleanser, that's what they said, part of this connection to having me HS. And of course, digging in, and they said, I think it was like 15 inches they said here deep they had, and 13 inches here. Whew, Lord, y'all. But anyway, after having those surgeries, the HS was like, "Oh yeah, you think you're gonna get rid of me?" So I went back to my lower part of my body because it kind of went away right before I had the surgeries, and then it came back again. Because it was like, "Oh, you think you're gonna get rid of me?" Because that's what it does sometimes. If certain areas where it heals from either go back to it or it comes back. There's a couple areas where I have scar tissue because I do have scar tissue, okay, and it's not even including the surgery. Some of the scar tissue I had from it healing, and so I have scar tissue whether I have surgery or not. And, like I said, so find sometimes different areas, or sometimes it goes back to some of the areas where you have scar tissue at, whether you had surgery or not. So sometimes surgery can be a temporary solution, unfortunately. And some dermatologists, but what I gather is they're not trying to really promote that you have to have surgery, which is understandable. But y'all, for a whole year, I went to a dermatologist 2 years in a row. I had to give cortisone shots, and that's supposed to help, remove the pain allegedly, and decrease the side effects and help these things heal. But actually, seem like the natural medicine, like taking zinc and using. When I did research about the zinc ointment, helped heal this one lesion that, cause y'all, I had one lesion that came, and it was months after the surgery that did not go away, my right thigh, and then I had least I still occasionally had, but it's not as many. I used to have like 5 to 7 abscesses, mini abscesses, in my lower part of my body that would flare up every month. That's that's all I have to say. So I was always in a lot of pain, and like I said, I still kind of deal with it. But there's some times where there's better and where, so I ain't gonna lie, I was not feeling good. On top of sometimes I still deal with pain on and off, and including, like I said, when I had the flare, when you have to build up, and here you got the poison dart that comes to the head, and then discover that it was under the skin graft, so that was stressful enough. But like I said, I thank God I don't have to have the surgery, at least to my knowledge, but I do have to have a follow up with a plastic surgeon because I was referred due to the fact of having another abscess in an area where it was never supposed to come back at. It was suggested, to have surgery, especially having a lesion there. So anyway, y'all, God bless. Y'all hugs and loves. And I just, like I said, just wanted to give general information. I know some of this information is repetitive, but I just wanted to give information. And this is, like I said, this is HS Awareness Week. And it's basically to bring awareness for people who are HS like me and other folks, or people who are finding out or been had it for a long time, or may run into videos like this in the near future and future, that wants to hear from perspective of somebody who's had it and has been misdiagnosed. Because shoot, it did not make no sense. I would tell regular doctors, holistic doctors, went to ER, had surgeries, and more than 3 surgeries on and off throughout the years, and still did not get a answer until I went, and that's a whole nother story. I wonder when I'm going to talk about that, actually going to the fake doctor, and the real doctor actually was the one who diagnosed me, and that's when I was finally able to get help. The only real time to say, yeah, I even one time had an episode where I actually went to a fake doctor, and the real doctor knew and had him posing it. You know how they have the medical insurance scams, y'all. Oh yeah, the real doctor isn't Broly somewhere or something like that. Been like that since like 3 or 4 years ago. He went off skirt. Yeah, and the fake doctor, because he up there messing with folks. is currently in jail now. Yeah, but that'll be another story. All right, y'all. See y'all. God bless.